Welcome everyone to this new episode of In the Shoes of Data Leaders. Today we'll be talking about a new topic nobody talked about before. It's data governance. Of course, I'm kidding. It's the same old topic that has been discussed over and over again, but it has its own way to come back always to the front line. By now, everybody knows that data initiatives don't always succeed. In a report published by Gartner, it says 70% of data initiatives fail to achieve or show value. When we look inside the reasons behind that, we see that it's often about data culture, data governance, involvement of stakeholders, ability to convince the right decision maker to get the budget, and a lot of other reasons that are not really related to technology. This is why in a previous episode, we talked about data culture. And today, we want to discuss about data governance. I'm Alaa Hoblos. I'm co-founder and CEO of APGAR. With me, Olivier Miotto, head of data governance at Garance.
Hello.
And Frédéric Robert, head of data advisory at APGAR.
Hello.
Today, we'll start first by having a discussion between Frédéric, Olivier, myself, and then we will leave area for questions at the end. So on your side, dear viewers, please ask your questions during the session, and I will be reporting them to Olivier and Frédéric at the end. So, Olivier, this topic of data governance is here since a long time. A lot of best practices are there on the market, but still it's a topic, it's a challenge. Why?
Yeah, because I think unlike other data quality, data management, data science, there is no magic recipe for data governance, because data governance tackles with a lot of aspects of your company, HR, work organization, all the habits of people doing the same thing for 10, 15 years. And it's such a vast subject that nobody wants to tackle it entirely. So you start with good intention, you start doing things, and one day or another, you hit the wall of reality and you say, okay, it's not working as I want, it's not working as planned. Let's stop it, let's make a pause, and let's come back later. And sometimes later never comes. And so it's always the same things that, as you said, come back always and always in the front of line.
And Frédéric, I hear a lot of organizations complain about data governance being so theoretical. Why is that actually? Even at the first place, why is it an issue actually to see governance as a theoretical topic?
Because most of the time you want to start to define an operating model from governance or a framework, and basically you spend 6 to 8 months defining a big framework, trying to cover every use case, every case of your organization, while your organization is still evolving. So you reach the point of the tunnel effect where you can't really apply it to your organization, and you need to rethink about it to be more smaller and to scale out.
Yeah, and there is another aspect on this theoretical and why it's not working. It's you start because you want to reassure yourself that you are doing it right, that you are doing things that has already been done by somebody. So you want to start with something theoretical and a little bit fixed. And as said Frédéric, your company is evolving, people are evolving, rules are evolving, and one day or another you will, as I said, hit the wall of reality and it's not working.
Looking at the organizational level, if I focus on that actually, today, one of the things that we see within organizations, they see that there is a need actually that framework they are getting on their side have ability to convert somehow into their own reality, into their own organization. It's not really what's happening. So from this perspective, what is for you, how much is it really something that is critical to be able to adapt the governance framework to actual organizations?
Because without this flexibility and without this adaptability, you will never get on board with end users and with business users. Let's face the truth, people are doing governance for years. It's just that they don't know the terms, they don't know the tools, and people are already doing governance in your company. It's just if you come with a framework that is fixed, you will never get them on board. And what you have to do is to adapt the governance to the people and not the other way.
Yeah, clearly it's a real shift to make governance towards the people, towards the process and the culture, instead of trying to just apply it without any people really reading it within the organization.
Don't we have an issue, by the way, with the definition of governance? Because after all, it seems like more and more like a catch-all term, actually. We put everything under it. I've even seen some cases where data stewardship topic are being addressed, seen under the title of data governance. So from this perspective, shouldn't we first say that we need to have a clear definition of what data governance is, and that inside the organization, and even, I would say, across organizations?
Yeah, totally. Sometimes people refer to data governance as data management and the other, when in fact it's also oversight and monitoring of what's happened with the use of data within the organization. And basically it's a big pot where you put everything regarding process and management of data within the organization, from the data platform towards the analytics also. And it can be very complex, and that's why also it's a big term that is changing at the moment.
Yeah.
Another big term is data-centric. That's another catch-all term.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, Olivier, of course, we can see how much it's important to have to link data governance with being data-centric, but can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, a lot of companies are using, more than data governance, as said Frédéric, but a lot of companies are using data-centrics to attract people when they are recruiting. Say, hey, let's join us. We are doing data. We want to be data-centric, and most of the time, data-centric is just we have dashboards, and our direction is using the dashboards to make decisions or to communicate and stuff like that. And when you try to know what is behind these numbers and behind these dashboards, nobody knows. Nobody knows. And yeah, as you said, I think that you can't be data-centric if you not achieve a data governance shift that has been successful.
When we talk about operationalizing the governance, one thing come up to mind directly is data cataloging. It's one thing that governance brought to us. Data catalog is one way to make my governance operational. So we see on the market a lot of data catalogs, a lot of technology, solutions on the market of data catalog. Even a lot of customers today, a lot of organizations that we see today have already implemented data catalog or are willing to do that in the future. Yet we see also that so few achieved really to have an effective, successful implementation of the catalog. So from your perspective, Frédéric, why is it still a challenge to have data catalog efficient within organizations?
Technology is not magical. Data catalog won't solve any problems. Between business glossary, technical metadata, harvesting is still a hard point to manage. You need to connect to a system, you need to harvest that, and it's taking time, it's integration. Data catalog, it's an enablement, and it's like climbing the Everest or a mountain. You need to go step by step, and the complexity of the catalog is a three-way path. You need to handle the business with the business glossary, you need to handle the system with the application harvesting, and also in the middle, you need to handle the lineage with the data team to connect those business definition to technical harvesting. And clearly, there is no magic, a lot of work and manual work in some time, because automation will come with the actual process and actual ecosystem linkage with the organization.
Yeah, as you said, it looks like to me that sometimes data catalog is kind of an item in a list. And you say, oh, I want to do governance, I need to have a data catalog. And people are purchasing the solution without knowing what to do with it. And say, okay, I do have a data catalog. Okay, data catalog, okay, glossary. Oh yeah, these people from this department will know and will fix everything by himself. And as said Frédéric, there is no magic. The tool won't solve anything by itself. There is a lot of organization behind it. There is a lot of work of conception, of implementation. And it's not because you have the data catalog that data cataloging will be a success.
And perhaps organizations are not giving even enough time to data stewards or data owners to to put information, the required information inside the catalog. I know, Frédéric, for you, it's an important topic. You always speak about it. We need to have time for doing those things.
We talked a lot about technical depth, but data cataloging, you are facing a more business and knowledge depth within the organization. And to complete a catalog from 0 to 100%, it's taking a lot of time and a lot of effort. And that's where you need to plug on data initiatives to do that.
Even if we take a step back, we talked about catalog, but master data management. Catalog, of course, metadata management, data lineage, the observability, data quality profiling, all those tools are different ways to implement data governance principles and policies. So could be the issue about not being successful with governance is that we are not able really to connect data governance layer with this operational layer. I mean, for instance, if we talk about the roles that are on the level of operational level of data, of master data management, data catalog, and the others, and the organizational roles that are on the governance layer, are organization today in failure to connect these, and this is a reason for failure, or is it not related to that?
I think that some organization think that you need to have a match between what you see, I said earlier, what you have in your theoretical framework and what you have in your organization. And you have to fit one way or another to this framework. When I think it should be the other way. You do, as I said, people are already doing governance. Companies are managing data and dealing with data for years, sometimes with Excel, sometimes with tool, but they are managing data. They know where data come from, and people are expert. You have to trust your expert. And I think that you should start from what is already in place and adapt it with a data governance framework and not the other way, not coming with a data framework from some theoretical book or some people that say each governance should be like this and adapt to it, it should be the other way.
So, Frédéric, from your opinion, what's the challenge that you have seen with other organizations? What did you learn from those challenges?
Data governance is need to provide answers. Basically, data governance need to provide oversight and insights to take action based on data governance usage. So you need to build up on data initiatives and need to build up momentum on each initiative that displays basically you are providing answers, insight, good advice on how to manage in each and everyday data failure, use case, action, reporting, and so on. So it's really that shift, how to apply it on concrete and day-to-day process and operation that is key to reach those challenges.
Mm-hmm. And so let's say that the governance, we reach a point where governance is operational. So for instance, I take the case of Garance. For you, Olivier, how do you measure the success or failure of initiatives? And of course, it's very important to learn and improve. So from your own experience, how did you achieve to measure success and failure? And what do you do with it, actually?
Yeah, first, as said in the title of this podcast, we did it totally wrong. We start with a whole data migration initiatives, and we said to ourselves, let's do together at the same time data governance and data management. So we start doing workshops with end users and businesses, and after 2 days we noticed that everybody was lost. They were confused with what is a data catalog, what is a data quality rules and stuff like that, and they were not aboard. And I think that the most valuable and the most important indicators concerning data governance initiative is how much are the end users involved in what you are doing. If people are not using your solution, if people are not using data catalog or any tools you can implement, it's that you did something wrong. It was too complicated, to I don't know what, but you just have to make sure that end users are with you. If you lost your end user, you will not manage to do anything. And basically, it was what happened to us. After 2 weeks, we say, okay, let's stop the data governance initiative for now. Let's finish with the MDM. And once we do have the MDM, let's go back to the governance. Let's make a quick reminder of what is governance, why we are doing that. And let's start small. Because we wanted to do everything at once, all on business level. And we said, okay, it will be more efficient if we are working first on a technical issues. Let's implement something that is very technical in the data catalog, and we can show to end user what is like a data catalog and how we can use it.
And Frédéric, together we've been addressing customers actually, and I know that we faced the need to do coaching, for instance, to data owners, product owners around data products, and even shadowing of data users. So do you see really this issue also happening where users are lost on the responsibility between the governance layer, the operation layer?
Yeah, clearly, data governance and operating model are made to try to define responsibilities and roles. But that clearly take accountability of people, and people are afraid of accountability. So, and also on what procedure, activities you take accountability. And the most difficult part when deploying and defining governance is how to list properly all those action roles within your organization are doing on data. And that's all those little bits to define responsibilities that are critical in the governance, because you want to know who is supposed to validate that data, who is supposed to create that data, and so on, or to cover the monitoring of that KPI. And putting name on top of it can be clearly tricky when defining the governance within an organization.
Especially putting one names. We saw it at Garance when we were looking for business owners. It's always, it's this person, and this person. I say, no, it's not possible. Not three people can. There is no way they can arrange themselves. I need one name. And as you say, people are afraid of accountabilities, because if something is going wrong, people will go after them.
And another difficulty is you want to almost to list every activity within the organization, but you don't want to do that. So you want to focus on the oversight and monitoring of data usage, and not like, I want to create that data, or I want to look at that report. It's really focus on the oversight of data usage, and that's the tricky part also to consider, because it's not clear in a lot of mind.
So yeah, exactly the point. So because we can define roles and responsibility, but is it really understood by everybody? So isn't there a question for Olivier, in your experience, for instance, isn't not an issue today that the concept of governance itself is not understood, and perhaps we are not making enough action to make it understandable by people?
I'm not sure. I think that today, maybe not the technical issue, but I think that most of people and organizations get what is behind governance, because there is a lot of issues on every aspect of the data, and people get to there is an issue, I need to address it, and I don't think that there is a cultural or some gap between what we are doing on governance and the organization. I remind a few years back, I work on HR with HR people, and when head of HR told me, you are paid at the end of the month, and say, so there is no issues. And I don't, because this person didn't know that two people in his team spend 2 weeks in the month by changing manually data and charging, doing some shadow IT and stuff like that. I don't think, maybe Frédéric will say something else, because I just can't speak for the 2 or 3 companies I worked these last years. But I don't think that today people are in this mentality. People are knowing that something needs to be done to collectively improve. And even if they don't know the terms and what is behind governance, they make a step toward it, and they can say to themselves, okay, we need something, but we just don't know what. And in governance initiative, that's our role, to help them and to guide them to this path.
Exactly, as data leaders,
exactly.
As data leaders, what do we do to make things easier for them, more understandable?
Totally. As I said, a lot of time in my work, I can be the best in my line of business. If I do everything by myself, just for me, I won't have any advantage or anything. We need to work all together, and as you said, as leader, we need to lead by example and help people and guide them to this journey of data governance.
And on top of that, it's really also about improvement and continuous improvement, because you're not fixing stuff. Company is running. you're trying to improve the way it's being done and people spending less time on futile or non-necessary activities.
Totally.
So it's also a big gap in the mindset to switch from improvement and how to do PDCA each and every day and like data quality.
I like you're not fixing anything. it's so true.
Yeah, but perhaps gamification. I mean, making more fun for them isn't. Shouldn't that be also a topic for data leaders to look at?
And clearly, data governance needs to not be technical. It needs to be clear and gamified or concrete use case. That's why also it needs to be fit for purpose. An HR needs to feel HR problems or HR data issues. Operation or procurement needs also to have their specific use case. So when doing data governance, you have to do a lot of example images of what's really happening for each and every department of the organization.
You need to stop the technical or expert mumbo jumbos. It's not because terms are technical or difficult that it will be something concrete by them. And especially in a French-speaking for French customer as Garance, when you start speaking with English terms or with acronym, 1 time out of 2 you are losing people. You just have to make it accessible, and you just have, as Frédéric said, we are here for helping people. We are not here to fix issues. We are just want to get people rid of things that are pain in their day-to-day life or work, and we are just there to help them.
And empower also the champions that are within business people that understand the topic, and they can be the best ambassadors within their organization, I mean internally.
I think that when you talk about gamification is at the company level. But you first have to identify within your company who can be data leaders and who can be data champions. As I said, most of the time, people are already doing governance. It's just that they don't know it. You just have to talk with them, to empower them, and say, hey, what you are doing is data governance. Let's work with HR to change a little bit what you are doing on your day-to-day basis, and let's work together to implement data governance and to help everyone in the company.
And here you hope he doesn't stop because I don't want to do it. I want to do my work.
No. I'm just doing it because it's bothering me. But no, I don't. No, thank you. I never faced this issue.
A great example on that is about the feedback loop. When we talk about data governance, it's a lot also in case of looking at a dashboard or a KPI or a report. What people expect from data governance is what are the actions I need to do when looking at something. And that's one of the biggest issues. We are making a lot of dashboards, a lot of KPIs, but we don't know what to do with them. And data governance is there to give them insight or the good tips to do the action and to see also the effect of the action they are doing within the organization. You want to see number growing or going down by the action you are doing on a KPI, on data quality, or whatever the topic you apply.
Or you just want to understand the numbers. One of the cases we have at Garance is we have some customer dashboard showing active customers. And first time I saw this dashboard, I said,
what does it mean?
No. Not what does it mean? I said, okay, active customers, so a customer having an open contract or stuff like that. Oh no, it's not the number I drive in the MDM. Marketing CEOs, no, it's not active customer. It's somebody that did an action in the past year, and you just have to align just before. Okay, I want to see number increase. You have to align everybody, and you have to get to know what is behind your dashboard.
So we're talking here about how to make it more interesting to them to use the governance framework. But again, here, a lot of organizations report that they suffer from this. The framework that they have put in place is not used. Olivier, from your perspective, how can we change that?
Once again, by doing simpler things. It's not because things are difficult that it's better. Most of the time, when data catalog or data governance initiative are not used or not finalized, it's because it's something too technical or too complex for end users. And you have on one side the governance thing saying, oh, I did my job, I implement the data catalog, implement everything we ask. It's because users don't want to use it, they are not ready, they are not mature enough. And then users say, oh, another IT project, IT people doing IT things. You just have to, once again, to align the two way of seeing the things, and you just have to adapt what is governance to what people are doing and not the other way. Once again, if your implementation of data catalog is too complex, people won't use it. Another example, when we start at Garance using the data catalog, as the solution was very open, I tried to do very complex way of sort and classify data, but I metadata, and I was like, no, it's too complex. I'm lost in what I'm doing. And a friend of mine told me, I will arrange you a meeting with somebody whose job is literally making catalog, but paper catalog. And I speak with this person, and in 5 minutes, she told me, just put everything with tag. Very simple, everything in one line with tag, and people will find what catch terms they want and what they find. And she was right. My very complex implementation, I threw it to the garbage, and I did something very simple, and people start to use it and to get what they are looking for.
As we commonly say in IT and data, usually the problem is between the chair and the keyboard. And either you need to support the person on the chair to understand and progress, or you need to rephrase the level of expectation to be less complex, more accessible, and also facing real process and real use case within the organization.
And when we look at the various data types that are there, the various data use cases that are there, do you think, from your perspective, Frédéric, do you think that it's important that we align one unified data governance framework within an organization, or should it be like different from one data type to another, or one data use to another?
And it's exactly why data governance needs to be an evolving ecosystem. I've seen too much times, we need an operating model for our catalog, we need an operating model for our MDM, an operating model for the governance, when in fact we need to just address the new type of data commodities like AI model, learning set, and so on, to adapt our framework and process towards that. So we need to be able to adapt to change, and data governance is mainly about change management and culture change within the organization.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so notice we have been talking for 25 minutes and we didn't say AI.
He did.
I missed it. Okay, no, but just now. No, I thought before. 25 minutes without saying AI, that's already an achievement. But so we need to talk about it. So from your perspective, Olivier, did AI add more complexity to the topic of data governance? For sure, it's putting some additional pressure, let's say, on the data governance topic. But did it add more complexity to it, or is it still the same old challenges, but now we are looking to them because there is something else that is pushing us to look at them?
It's clearly add some pressure. I'm quite sure it's not adding some complexity, because as data science a few years ago, AI is the next big thing. So everybody want to jump on board. Everybody want to get on the train and have its own model, its own I don't know what. But they are facing with data issues. And as it's something moving very quickly, people just want answer quickly and want now. And as we say earlier, all issues you put under the rug and say okay, let's wait that somebody noticed that we didn't finish, and let's fix it later. Later is now for most of organizations because of AI, because we are using a lot of data, because we want to do a lot of things, and we are seeing that we don't have the right quality. We don't know where to find the data. So it's just put everything under the broad daylight. And I don't know if it's new issues. I think it's all the same topics coming back again and again, as you said.
And Frédéric, from your perspective, what can you say about that? Because when I look at the challenges that we see with our customers, there is also even the governance of AI itself. So do you think that there is additional, more or less challenges regarding data governance for AI?
So there is some challenges because we want to break silos. We don't want to create new technological silos with shadow IT and so on, and everybody using their own LLM model and so on. But there is also great opportunities by using AI. If we look at data governance and data cataloging, AI can support a lot with the tagging, the harvesting, the mapping, and doing the lineage between business glossary and technical metadata. And also we see the dream of comparing active metadata and passive metadata to try to predict more data failure. If we can learn from existing past data failure, we can try to identify where they will happen again and on which cause and consequence. So it's a great opportunity to use machine learning and so on data governance to ease the risk, to reduce that impact within the organization.
And not only for the risk. In every company, you do have a lot of documentation in Excel sheets, in Word documents, and you can train your AI model to get into that document and initialize everything in your data catalog and your data governance tool. I think sooner or later, let's hope sooner, AI will be a great help for launching data governance initiative and help them to succeed. Because today, for harvesting, for data gathering, you have to do a lot of things by yourself manually to get workshop with business users. It takes time, as we say, nobody wants to tackle it. And let's hope that some model or some AI will get to have a satisfying level of I can read the document and I can implement the data catalog with it.
Going back to it, people don't like change. People don't like to document their own job. Yeah. And clearly AI and agent, for example, can help on that. If you can have an agent that helping document the process, the procedure people are doing in their day-to-day job about data, it will ease them because they won't have to do that documentation, and you will have the knowledge gathered on that within the catalog. So yeah, it's great opportunities to help the organization in that.
Yeah, also some kind of chatbot with the history of all, as you say, all the incidents that happened. Today, you at Garance, we have to, if we have an issue with the contract, we know who we have to talk to. And if we can have a chatbot or an AI and say, okay, I do have this issue, does it ever happen? How we fixed it? It will replace memory of people forgetting things and stuff like that. Yeah.
And to that point, does current framework or do current frameworks of governance integrate really AI well? What do you think, Frédéric? Or should we reshape them somehow?
We need to add more flexibility within governance. Sometimes we are too much strict about governance, and clearly models, learning set, and so on need to be adaptive and to change towards that. So we need dynamic governance process that can update themselves when a new use case is being introduced, a new trend like LLM we have seen with Open AI and ChatGPT coming in, and you need to manage that. You can't let it going back. So you need to be able to be on the top of the wave and surf it to address those new problematics.
But about we were talking about MDM, data catalog, all of that actually, and there is this layer, and on top of them, the augmented data management that is being added. So what do you think are the benefits, Frédéric, for instance, to start, what do you think are the benefits of augmented data management?
So augmented data management is a great way to ease the risk, do mitigation, and to also automate data management process and data governance process within the organization. If we can learn from that, track down all those information, we can ease the day-to-day job of data steward, of data manager by giving them insight of what to do or what not to do in each and every position they are taken within the data platform.
One of the use cases I like about augmented data management is making data accessibility easier for users. With the chatbot on top of my MDM solution, for instance, I ask question, it will fetch responses from multiple sources.
And as you mentioned, some editors try to do stuff like that with you try to see the data and say, oh, this data looks like this one, or I do have an AI chatbot where like ChatGPT, I can ask my question, and the chatbot will look into your metadata and your data themselves to get you an answer. But I don't know if it's ready yet. There is a lot of initiative, and I'm very eager to know who's going to be able to get something effective and that manage to really help you. Today, it seems to me that it's more like a gadget, or as you said, we can't speak about data on anything in IT without speaking of AI. And people want to be the first. And you want to be the first, not want to be the best. And I think that if somebody manage, maybe not to be the best at first, but the first to provide something very useful, it would be a great game changer.
And also on accessibility, one of the biggest points we see is one single data set that covers AI, data management, and everything is not really possible. Yeah. So you want accessibility to be facilitated by AI to help users to get the right things they need for the purpose they want to do with it. And clearly, if it can recommend good things and the good data set for the purpose they want to do with it, it will be the best for the data governance.
Yeah, to help people that don't know what they are looking for, because most of the time people have a vague idea of what they are looking for, and you have to spend time with them. They have to spend time within the data set and stuff like that to know exactly what they need. And once again, if you can provide something that helps them in an effective and a direct way, you will change their life and ours too.
Maybe one day we'll have AI writing the prompt for ourselves directly.
Yeah. Maybe.
AI controlling AI. That's nice. So I have a question from the audience. What is the role that communication can play in ensuring a transformation? No, I'm mistaken the question. So no, the question is what is the role that communication can play in ensuring a success for the governance, and is there really still a cultural resistance to governance? So Olivier, for instance, you can.
Yeah, the cultural resistance, as I said, I don't think there is a lot of cultural resistance now. But communication, without communication, data governance initiative won't work, because as we said, for most of people, data governance is seen as something painful, something they don't want to do, something that will put accountability on them. And communication will, first of all, help you to spread the word what you are doing and why you are doing it and how you're doing it. And as we said, by using gamification or some fun stuff, you can show that there is something else, that acronyms and technical issues behind data governance.
People want to know why they are doing stuff.
Yeah.
So we need to explain why it's important to do data governance and how it's being implemented.
Great.
And you have to communicate on your. I see that you have to communicate on your success. And you have to warn people, hey, we implement a new tool, but not only a new tool, but something that will help everyone. And sometimes, as data leaders, we are not at ease by communicating to everyone or to people that are miles away from what is data governance and what is data.
Data overall is very well supported by positive contamination. So that's why you need to communicate on success. Yeah. And even sometimes on the failure to display why you know you failed.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
So we were talking about not being theoretical, be more practical. So we want to put into practice the title of our show, and the shoes of data leaders. So Olivier, please, it's for you. Your shoes of data leaders.
Oh, nice. I don't know if I can show you.
Oh, go ahead.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Congrats.
I don't know why it's orange actually, but
I know, but it fits with the blue. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Olivier. Thank you, Frédéric, for all your insights. Thank you, audience. Please don't forget to follow our LinkedIn page. Also, in the feed of this LinkedIn Live, you will see that there's a link toward a Gartner Key Insight report. Go ahead, feel free to download it. Thank you a lot, and see you in our next episode.